Smith Slide Contractors, and tonight we're going to talk about how I'm getting all of my quotes approved. If you bear with me, I'm just going to share the live on a few different channels. If you're watching this on replay, just go ahead and jump to about the 3-minute mark is when I usually get things rolling. Hey, how's it going, guys? I see some people jumping on here. Hope everybody's doing all right. Where's everybody from? Go ahead and mute my phone. Can everybody hear me all right? Hey, how's it going, folks? See people jumping on. Okay, I want to answer a couple of questions. Again, if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and skip to about the 3-minute mark. But Freeland was asking, I heard Jobber has financing available in the app. Is that true? So Jobber has a few things. They do have, I believe it's called like invoice factoring, where if you've put I think it probably correlates to the amount of revenue that you do in your business, that they're willing to front you a certain amount of money based upon your invoices that you have sent out. And then they also have like a third-party financing available option that you can go ahead and have your clients sign up, and they do the financing and they make the payments to the third party, and that third party pays you right away. You do have to pay for that. And then also the client, I believe, does pay interest as well. I'm not sure. Some of those third party financing options do allow people to like not charge the client anything and you just pay it yourself. But yeah, that is an option. No, I personally do not do that. But I know a lot of people that do. Excuse me. If I offer any sort of payment plan or anything like that to my clients, I just kind of do it in-house. I know that there's a little bit more risk there. Something's going on with my hair tonight. I don't know if that looks good or if I got receding hairline or what, but yeah, it just is what it is. I'm stuck with it, I guess. But anytime that I offer like a payment plan to my clients, it's more of like, hey, here's your down deposit, pay this on a certain day and pay this on another day, or, you know, whatever. Give me $200 a month or $300 a month. You can pay it in advance. So I offer that to my clients, where starting out in January, they can pay me 10% a month for 10 months. So by the time October rolls around, everything's already paid off. So I do offer some of that stuff. Usually it's like people paying in advance for their holiday lighting. And what I found is just making it easy like that, not making people sign up and run a credit report and stuff like that. It makes the lights very affordable for them. And we don't have a lot of clients sign up for that, maybe 10 to 25%, somewhere in that range. But for those people, it allows them to budget throughout the year and stuff like that. And it just makes it a little bit easier for them to hire us to put up lights. So yeah, hey guys, I hope everybody can hear me all right. If you can hear me, put in the chat where everybody is from. So I see we got a bunch of people watching right now. Where are you guys from? And I'll guess I can open up Facebook, make sure everybody can hear me. See. Yep. All right, cool. I can hear that pretty good. So I want to jump right into it. We've been getting a lot of activity this morning. We had about 16 requests starting the day, and I just counted. It looks like we got 16 more requests today. And I'm actually going to open up my screen and share that with you. So I actually plan on going over this right here. If I can go to that right here, I'm going to scroll down and you see I have permanent lighting leads. They're coming from Google, coming from Love Social, and a lot of that. And then also a lot of these are getting converted after about the 2-week mark. So actually, I don't know when that one was created. I might add one more column, like a created, let's see, quote created date, draft date. No. Yeah. Is it? Anyway, I don't want this dragging on. Sent date? Yeah, we can do that. Let's see, sent date. Yeah, there we go. So that, yeah, that shows the date that it was sent out. So I'm going to go over this a little bit later in the live. Basically going over all my numbers and stuff like that. Hey, Diana, how's it going? So Riley here, we can go ahead and jump in and answer a couple of questions. But I'm just going to open up a couple of my quotes and go over that. And then really tonight, I'll let the chat decide where we want to go. Like, I don't have a huge topic to go over or anything like that. This time of the year, it's usually more about like, how do we get leads? How do we get the phone to ring? And that's something that I've been very successful at. I really don't spend a lot of money on it because I've been installing since 2018. That's 7 years now. And so this would be my 7th season. And I did a lot in the beginning, a lot of simple things. Go watch our last 2 lives. Literally, I've gone over it and I'll go over it again if anybody has any questions. But I did a lot of the basic stuff really well, and I get a ton of leads from that. And we do have a pretty good close rate right now. I think we're at like 60% right now. But let's see. All right, so Riley asked, 4th year doing lights, but I'm starting in a new area this year and trying to do more than just Facebook and yard signs. Late to the game this year and started ads today. Do you have any sleeper commercials or residential tips for early season quotes? We started door knocking. Wow, good for you, man. Door knocking is tough, right? Door knocking, it's not for the faint of heart. Started door knocking and not doing some commercial door knocking during the day. What are your thoughts on that? Okay, so a lot to unpack here. New area. First, word of caution. Somebody like myself, who I'm going to consider myself having a little bit of success in a few different industries. It is a trap to think that, in the new service area, I can just do what worked in my previous area and I'm going to automatically have all this success. I've seen it so many times, Riley, that people move to a new service area or they open up a new branch and they think that business is just going to flood to them because they did couple million bucks in their old area. So first, a word of caution. How do you prevent that? How do you prevent yourself from being a cautionary tale? Do what you did in the beginning at your other location, right? In the beginning, not at the end, right? Because in the beginning, I did so much social media and so much networking and had a list of 20, 30 contractors I was referring out all the time. They were referring out to me, and we did flyers, and we did not clip flyers, but like magnetic signs on mailboxes, and we did door hang. I mean, we did so much in the beginning to get the word out about our services. And then we built a really good online presence and online brand. I can't stress that enough, right? I did that in the beginning. A lot of it was sheer, I didn't know any better, right? I'll give you a perfect example of that. I built a YouTube channel for my gutter cleaning company because we started cleaning gutters so fast that clients were accusing us of like not cleaning all their gutters. So what I did is I built a YouTube channel and I recorded every minute of while we were working, and I started putting that on YouTube. So when a client said, hey, you clean my gutters really fast, I could send them a link to a home that was a similar size of theirs, and they could see we literally cleaning out the gutters of a house in 12 minutes. Well, I can't tell you how much business that one video has led to. I mean, I have some underground drain flush videos that we still get work to almost on a weekly basis, just from like showing a client, hey, like, here's how we're going to clean the drains at your house. Instead of me explaining it, I just like put them a link to one of my own videos. And I didn't want to link them to another company. I wanted to link them to my own. So I started that online brand, that online social media presence, and the website and the Google profile and all that other type of stuff, just to be able to like share information with my clients. And that turned into a really good source of leads down the road. And so again, I can't stress enough building a brand specifically for lights in your brand new area. Little things that are different is if you're going to, the number one is still Google, right? Google is still the number one. You don't go to like Angie's List, right? I don't think anybody goes to Better Business Bureau or Yelp or something like that to like find a light installer. Everybody is just, I mean, if you need a plumber, the first place you're going to go to is probably Google. That's the number one thing that you can do. Things that are different. You need to have a registered business name with the state. You need to have email, website, vinyl decal or magnetic decals for your truck. You need to be able to prove what your address is. So you need to have all that stuff lined up first. So that you get approved when you sign up for your Google profile. Because if you get denied, it might be a pain in the butt. And then I'll tell you this all the time. None of my Google accounts have I ever had shut down, leads removed, or anything like that, flagged or anything, because I've never done anything wrong on Google. All of my customers are real customers that have left leads. I don't do things like, here's what's really bad. When I want a customer to leave a review, I send them the direct link to my Google. That means that they can leave a bad review or they can leave a good review. A lot of people have this third-party app that when somebody wants to leave a bad review, it filters those out and it sends them more to like an email that they can email you their feedback or something like that. But if they're like, oh, click 5-star, it links them over to Google. You do that, Google knows you're doing that. So everybody who's like, oh, I got all these leads, I got all these reviews like deleted off my thing, and I got my profile shut down. Yeah, it's because you're doing crap like that, right? You're doing things that are dishonest. You're trying to hack the system. You're using AI and bots, and you're paying for reviews and crap like that. Just don't do that, guys. Like literally set up the profile and be genuine and do really good quality work, and that's the best way of doing it. For getting leads year one, the one thing that you did not mention, Riley, and I've been talking for a little while, but the one thing you didn't mention was networking, right? What spheres of influence are in this new area? Who has a sphere of influence in these areas that you can scratch their back and they can scratch your back, right? And I'm not talking about real estate agents, right? I got to think about real estate agents that, they all think that they're going to get you a million jobs and they never end up doing. There's one real estate agent who will do like 100 times more than all the other ones combined for my business. So I have like one or two good ones and I got 100 of them that just want to deal on their own house, right? But there are other spheres of influence. There are other, people at a church, an influencer, like an HOA president or something like that, the owner of a local Facebook community group. So in my area, it'd be like Creedmoor Community Information or Raleigh Community Information. There are people with spheres of influence in your area that you could probably network with them or go give them a demo or maybe give them a little bit of a discount or pay a referral out to those people. That is a good way of getting 20, 30 jobs right away that you could start installing them right now and really get yourself a kickstart in that new area. Facebook, I think, is great. You're going to have a lot of tire kickers, meaning you're going to have to go through a lot of quotes. Like, we got 3 permanent lighting jobs approved today. We got 2 approved today, and one of them I'm emailing back and forth that I think will get approved. So, Facebook's always good. Yard signs are great. Flyers are great. But dude, if you're not scared, go knock on some doors like you were saying, and that's awesome. Now, and as far as it comes to commercial leads, okay, the number one thing you can do for commercial is build your list, right? You need to go out there and think of everybody who already is putting up lights, and then think about what are other buildings and what are other organizations that are similar to those. And then go and just start building your list. Build a list of 100, 200, 300, 500 businesses and put them on your knock list or put them on your outreach list, okay? And you just need to go out there and you just need to talk to them. You need to email them. And I'm not talking about a mass email. I'm talking about spend 10 minutes, get a picture of their building. Like this is Diamonds Direct right here, okay? You get a picture of that building. You send them a rendering that looks like this and say, hey, we're doing some light jobs in your area. I saw yours. I made this custom rendering for your building. I think it would look great. If you could put me in touch with a decision maker, I'd love to make your season a little bit brighter for your patrons that come and visit your business this holiday season. Okay. And you do that and you spend 10 minutes per email and you send that email out to everybody in that organization that you can find emails for. Maybe you stalk them on LinkedIn or something like that. But you just really need to work and build that list and you can start doing it that way. That's going to be a very active way. I personally have just built a very good online presence, and a lot of those leads come to me without having to go after them and hunt them down. So I've never door knocked for Christmas lights. I've never pursued businesses or anything like that. I probably should. I just don't have enough salespeople out there to go and do that. And I don't spend a whole lot of time in my actual install business these days. I spend most of my time in the distribution company, Christmas Light Contractors. So Yeah, look, I spent a lot of time on that question. If you got any more, put them in the comments, put them in the chat. Everybody that here, hey, let me know where you guys are from. And then also do me a favor. If you're getting value out of these lives, please share them on your personal page, right? There might be other people or other business owners or something like that that are interested in getting some more information. So if you would share it in a local business page or on your own personal page on Facebook or something like that, I would greatly appreciate that. So thank you guys. And then I'll do a little bit of housekeeping. Let's see. Okay. Obviously, Christmas Light Contractors, we sell product, right? So you can check out that right there, that right there. All right. If you need professional grade lights, you can check out lightsforsale.com, and we're happy to, I think we carry all the name brands, and I think we have the best pricing in the country, and we can get it to you in 2-day shipping or 1-day shipping almost everywhere in the country. So the other thing that we have, CLC light training. So if you need in-person training, you can go and check us out there. There's a training this week in Indiana, and I believe there's one coming up in Washington State in another couple of weeks. So that's a good place to get resources if you're like a hands-on learner like I am. And then, oh, you know, hey, here's a cool one. I didn't know I have this link up here. But Adam Chapman, right? Home Service University. So join HSU. I personally am a little scatterbrained, okay? So I'm really good at training. I'm not good at like coaching and mentoring. And I have a lot of people almost on a daily basis ask me, hey, Donovan, would you be my coach? Can I pay you money to teach me or something like that? And my answer to that is always no, right? Not because I'm not willing to teach you, but because I'm not organized enough and I don't have the time to like spend with you. If you were to pay me, I'm not organized enough to like show up on time every single week. But guys like Spencer Clay, Adam Chapman, Steve Hunsaker, this is a link right here to Adam Chapman's Home Service University. I highly encourage you. There's nobody better than Adam Chapman for like business systems. And he has so many resources like built out for you and like brochures and like call scripts and everything else, A to Z, anything you need to build a multi-million-dollar business. Adam Chapman's done it. He's boots on the ground with experience, and he has all these resources, and he has weekly calls and everything else, coaching groups. Like that is Home Service University. Is absolutely worth every single penny that you would spend on it. Another great guy is Spencer Clay. He has some coaching programs, but just follow that guy. He is a young guy with a young family, like lighting the world on fire. He absolutely will pour some energy into you. So check out Spencer Clay. And then Steve Hunsaker. If maybe you don't want to hire your own ad agency or something like that, check out Steve Hunsaker. If you have like a little bit more time than money right now, just getting started, I would highly encourage you to invest in Steve Hunsaker. He's Home Service Accelerator. Invest in his coaching and his training, and he will hold your hand and help you set up your Google profile and help you set up all this. And he has like scripts on what's working on different social media platforms. And he has his coaches like actually critique your videos and tell you how to improve them and things like that. So learning how to get your own leads and do your own marketing is Steve Hunsaker. Adam Chapman is business systems, scaling your business, and like just a great guy for hustling and just a great coach. Just down to earth type guy, Spencer Clay. So those are my top 3 guys that I recommend to you for actually doing coaching program. Here's the other thing is they're not going to bullshit you. All 3 of those guys are transparent with their numbers. And I can't tell you how many other huge influencers are in the Christmas light space that I know are just quite lying. You know, I know guys that they just fib about the numbers. They're not transparent. They haven't had a business in years and years and years, but their revenue from what they did have when they were in business keeps going up every year. So guys like that, I feel like are trying to just sell you something. I don't believe in them, but I know those 3 guys are trustworthy. I know that they can help you grow your business, and that's my shout out for them. So with that, okay, I want to go over a couple of my quotes. You know what? There's a bunch of questions put up in chat. Let me skim through these real quick. Oh, we got a lot of questions here. Let me go over one of my quotes real quick, and then I'll start answering some questions in the chat, guys. And then after that, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over this quote right here. It's probably one of the smallest quotes that we're ever going to get approved. So here's what I want everybody guessing. Can everybody see this right here? I don't know if I can zoom in. No, I just took a screenshot. All right, this is a screenshot. So this house right here just got approved. I want everybody putting in the chat right now, how much do you think that we charge for this house right here? So the red is all that we're doing on the roof line. That's C9 lights. in the orange circle is a 60-inch wreath. That's all that we're doing on this property. How much do you think that we bid this for and that the client has already approved and paid the deposit on? After that, I'm going to answer a bunch of questions, and then I'm going to get into this page right here, which is literally my last 30 days. I'm going to go over all my numbers for the last 30 days. This is literally my CRM for my Raleigh location. So this is just my Raleigh location. It's not Greensboro or Charlotte. This is Raleigh location, and it has all my residential jobs right here. That's one we go over after that. So in the chat, let me see if I can get to some answers and get to this right here about again. Put in the comment section right now. What do you think that we charged and the client approved for this house right here? And then bonus points for anybody who knows how many linear feet of lights that is on the roof. Okay. Okay, first year, need assistance with measuring without having to go out to each property. All right, so Jasmine, I will help you on that picture right there. I'll go over that real quick whenever I go over those numbers. What do you say to your past clients to recommend saying or sending them to sign up with you again for lights? Do you do discount for signing back up? All right, Edwin, I'm not big on discounts. I think that a lot of my clients, a couple $100 off doesn't mean as much to them as providing a high quality of service. So a couple of things that I do is at Takedown. So at Takedown in January, I start getting their designs approved for the following year. I offer payment plans. I talk to them. I reach out to them in January. It takes a couple of months to go through everybody. We do it again in July. It takes a couple of months. And then we just keep following up with them starting in July. By the time we go through our whole list, we just start the whole process over again because it takes a few months to thoroughly go through that list and actually connect with people. The number one failure that I see when people are trying to reach out to their clients is that they're trying to do it fast and they just blow through their list. I can't tell you how many people come to me and they say, Donovan, I want to start a Christmas light business. I got 10,000. I offer power washing, or I offer gutter clean. I got 10,000 people on my list, or I got 1,000 people on my list. And I go, okay, great. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to email them. Then I want you to text the people that you don't get a response from an email. And then I want you to call everybody left over. Do those three things. And then a week later, they're like, all right, I've done all that. And I'm thinking in my head, there is no way on God's green earth that you got through 1,000 people in a week if you actually said what I just said to do, right? Email them, then text, and then phone call follow up. I can't even phone call 100 people in a day. You know what I mean? So how are you going to get through 1,000 people in 5 days if I can't even call 100 people in 1 day? You see what I'm saying? So the key. Excuse me, guys. I got this thing in my lungs. Last couple of weeks, I've been getting over a cold. Now it's all just like that in my lungs. So bear with me. Matter of fact, if my wife is watching this, if she would like to bring me a cup of water, that would be amazing. Because all I have is an empty cup of coffee. But the number one thing that you can do when reaching out to your clients is connect with them. We're not trying to reach out to them and just like sell them something or whatever. We want to connect to them. Hey, Mrs. Jones, how's your dogs doing? I know we just came out there 3 months ago and and you had to bring her to the vet because she stepped on a thorn and Is Bailey doing okay? Awesome. Well, I'm so glad to hear that. Let me know if you want to get on the schedule for another gutter cleaning. But hey, the reason why I'm calling you is that we started offering these Christmas light services. So if you seen in those houses in your neighborhood that have like the perfectly straight lights on the roof? Yeah, my company is probably the one doing it. Is that something that you'd be interested in getting a quote on? All right, that's a 30-second to 1 minute phone call right there, and you're actually connecting with the client. That's not I'm going to drop a voicemail bomb to 10,000 people all at once and just spam them. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have a good success rate with that either. But if you take your time and actually work your list, that's what you need to do. Great point. Back home, I already knew everyone and life was easy. And so Riley's referring to his new area here, okay? Back home, I already knew everyone, life was easy. I have an older friend working with me and going into this HOA company. HOA company? Yeah. I used to work with, need to take the networking more seriously. Yeah. So absolutely, man, Riley, think about to your very beginning days in business about everything that you guys did to get successful and try all of it. And here's the other thing, Riley, in this new area, and everybody who's doing marketing for the first time, or if you're doing any marketing right now, you need to be able to track all of your marketing efforts, right? On this right here, you can see lead source, right? Other, One Love Social, Google, stuff like that. Some of them are blank, right? But you need to know you need to know where all your leads are coming from, especially in the beginning, right? Because that tells you if you're spending money or spending time, you're going to see your results are going to be coming from, 20% is going to get you 80% of the results. So eventually, as you get busier, you eliminate the time commitments, or as you're like running out of money, you eliminate the things that aren't getting you the ROAS, right? So just track all of your methods of inbound leads. So, hey, Pat, hey, from Illinois. Very cool, man. Yeah, nice to see you from Illinois. All right. Can you go over the script when talking with the customer over the phone? The sales pitch. I can try, man. But I will tell you right here, CLC University, there's actually some recordings of like actual phone calls and stuff like that I have with clients. It has all of my line items that I put on a quote and everything, like literally A to Z, everything. It's $99 a month. You can just watch all of it. It's super simple, right? There's like 100, 200 videos on there, but you can watch all of them in a month and just cancel, right? So for $99, you can get all that, download it all. You get like 15, 20 photos on there. You get line item example photos and stuff like that. So I would say that this right here would be a really good resource for you if you're interested in that. The other thing that you can do is just go back and watch the last couple of week lives. I've actually gone on there and talked A to Z. My big thing for a phone script, okay, is there's a couple of I won't talk about like word for word. If you want word for word, check out Steve Hunsager's Home Service Accelerator. Check out Adam Chapman's Home Service University, right? Those guys are like literally call scripts. And if the client says this, then say that. That's not my style. I'm not that organized, right? But the way that I look at a phone call is I need to be able to pre-qualify a client. Is this client willing to pay me what I'm going to charge, right? Is this client actually looking for the type of service that I install? Right. So if they want me to install Govee lights, that's not something I do. I don't want to spend an hour on the phone with them and they just want me to install Govee. Right. And then, again, pre-qualification. My ADHD just kicked in. Do you guys ever come out to California? No, sir. I apologize, but I am like anti-California. I'm sorry, Johnny, but it is so difficult for a business to operate in California, especially like if I go out there and do a training there, then I got to jump through all these hoops and stuff like that. Like I'll come out to Vegas or something, but I do not go out to California. So I apologize, Johnny. That is a strong no for me. But again, on that phone script, so I'm trying to pre-qualify. And then I'm trying to build value, and I'm trying to get a ballpark price. And then I want to let the client know what my next steps are, right? Some people quote right there over the phone. Sometimes I'll do that for some services, but sometimes I'm like, hey, here are the next steps. You're going to get a quote with like 15 line items on there. 5 of those are going to be what you and I have just talked about, but the other 10 I think are going to be kind of cool. There's a box that you can check to select it yes or select it no, but you don't have to do them, right? But I just thought that they might look cool on your property. Even if you don't use them this year, it might be something that you want to add in following years, right? So again, pre-qual, tell them about our service, and then ballpark pricing, and here's what to expect next. So those are kind of my steps of a phone call, and you need to figure that out for you. What I will say specifically for Christmas lights is this time of the year, we're going to talk about our service more in the beginning and less pre-qual ballpark pricing. As we get busier and busier and busier, like in November, we might get 100 requests in a day. We're immediately going to ballpark and immediately going to pre-qualify them like within the first minute that we have them on the phone, okay? Because we just don't have a lot of time on that phone call. And for us, we try to push as many people as possible onto email or texting or whatever, just because, the sheer number of phone calls that we might have come in. All right, Fred, how do you get in contact with the right HOA? Should we just walk into HOA office? Yeah, you can try. I mean, almost every HOA has a monument sign out in the front or a clubhouse or something like that. You can absolutely do that. You can get on somebody on the board, anything like that. You can absolutely do. And here's the cool thing. If you get somebody that really likes lighting, it's not their money. So almost every single HOA has a budget of either $5,000 or $10,000 that the decision maker can approve without having to put it to a vote, right? So figure out what that is. for that HOA. Is it $5,000 or is it $10,000? But almost every HOA, it's either $5,000 or $10,000 that can get approved without having to put it to a vote. And what I try to do is I try to come up with a design that will fit that budget so that they can approve it. I exceed their expectations. That's the key, so that the following years I get a larger budget. All right, Jay. How much do you pay your cruise operations manager? Quite a bit. I think Ryan's kind of my operation guy. He probably makes 70, 75, 80 grand a year. He works with me full time. He's been with me like 15 years. I don't know the exact number. I'm sorry. But he gets paid pretty good. My crews, typically it's performance pay. So I'll start them out as an hourly rate, and then I'm going to move them to a percentage of the job. So I'm a strong believer in performance pay for your actual crew members. Do you think Google ads work better than Facebook ads? You're targeting different people, Fred. So on Facebook, I literally had somebody say that I had the job approved Saturday. They're like, wow, I wasn't even expecting to do this. It just popped up on my Facebook and I kept seeing it. So I called you, and then your office said that you could come out this day. I was literally in my dog training clothes. I just show up. I have my demo kit in the truck, and poof, $4,000 later, they approved some lights. Okay. So that was something that just happened, right? And because Facebook, I interrupted them. They're just scrolling. Like them dudes out there or I call it BBB, big booty ladies, BBL, different type of BBB. Big booty ladies, they're watching that, and then all of a sudden, boom, lights. And you're watching whatever. You're in your zone, and you're looking at something, you're zoned out, and then all of a sudden, bow, Christmas light ad pops up, and it just interrupts you, right? You're in the middle of looking at kids and soccer games or whatever. So that's Facebook. That's just like, ooh, instant gratification. Ooh, like distracted. Let me click this button real quick. Okay. And so that is a lot of tire kickers. Okay. I will say that you probably have a higher close rate off of Google, because somebody has to go to Google and they have to type in Christmas light installer near me. Okay. And they're actually searching for it. So you may be competing more on price on Google because they probably have access to 2 or 3 people, but there's fewer tire kickers. So if you can respond immediately on Google, if you are going to do Google ads, you need to be able to respond immediately. I mean, like literally the second that they put in a request, you need to be able to respond to them and be able to get them a quote within a few minutes so that they can click approve before they just click on the next ad underneath it, right? Or the next person on the maps listing or the local listing, okay? Steve Hunsaker has a company called Snipey Leads that will automate that entire process for you. That will automatically get them like the client an instant quote. So check out that home service accelerator. Steve Hunsaker is Snipey Leads. So that's the key. For Facebook, it's just filtering. I just pre-qualify my Facebook leads. I'm pre-qualifying them. I'm ballparking them like immediately, because I might only close like 5% or 3% of my leads from Facebook. Okay, cool. So my question before, guys, was how much for this house right here. I honestly don't remember what it is, but I do have it on my next screenshot. So we'll go over that. So $900. So somebody's saying $900. Jay, I think you're a little high. Ryan, I think you're a little low. 800. I think you're right at the money. Diane, I think you're a little bit high. So we got 1,200, 600. Brooke, I think you're right on the money. So I believe there's like 600 with like $75 takedown or something like that. So if I remember correctly, I think it was like $675. 1,200, Pat. Bro, good for you, Pat. No, I did not get 1,200 for this one. And then Brooke, it looks like is the only one that guessed how many feet of lights. And I'll go over that real quick. So what I'm going to do on this photo right here is look at that double car garage door. Or the other nice thing that we have right there in front of it is we have a side profile of whatever that vehicle is. You could ask ChatGPT how big that vehicle is. But a double car garage door is 16 feet wide. Okay. And then you have a little bit of footage on either side. Okay. So the little sconce to the left and the little sconce to the right is probably 3 to 4 feet. And then the other side is also probably 3 to 4 feet. So right there with a framing of 16 on center studs, if you know a little bit about that, this is probably from left to right is probably about 24 foot. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a ruler, or I'm going to take like a little piece of paper or a sticky note or whatever. And I don't know what's on that one, but yeah. Anyhow, I'm going to take a little piece of paper and I'm going to put it on my monitor, right? And I'm going to find, okay, this is the width of the garage door. So I know from here to here is 16 feet. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to count off. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 little pieces of paper times 16, okay, which would be 80 feet, right? This one right here, I'm going to say from left to right, from the left side of the house all the way to the right side of the house is about 24 feet. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to hold my finger like that. And I'm going to go up and then over, right? And so, yeah, that's about right at 50 feet. So Brooke, you're right on the money. The other way of coming up with that is to go onto Google Maps and you can look at the overhead view. And overhead, you can actually measure. If you left click, you can say measure distance and you can go from that left corner all the way to the right corner. Now, for the gable, the pointy part of the roof, here's the easy way of doing it. If it's really steep, multiply that straight distance times 2. If it's less steep, multiply it by 1.5, and that gets you your gable measurements, right? So again, all of that is to say that that's about 50 foot of lights times $6 a foot, $8 a foot, whatever that is about $300. And then the wreath, the 60-inch wreath, where I think we charge this lady $300. Now, I don't know how often we've done this. I think it's a new lead. I don't recall this house. So my guess would be that is a $600. Yeah. Yep. So the house, we got, this is how my quotes look. And then if you look at my past live, actually right above this photo where it says house outline basic, there is one that says design. And that's where I got this image from right here. So that's a line item that says design photo. And literally that red line correlates to one line item and that orange circle correlates to the other line item. So you see that house outline basic is $325 and it says red in the design photo. And then this is just a text only line item, most popular color options. And it has like 6 different color options. If they don't want to pick warm white, we don't charge anymore. So that's just text only. That they can say, oh yeah, I want it holly jolly, or I want winter wonderland, or I want frozen themed, or I want pure, something like that. And then the 60-inch wreath with or without decorations. Here's the other thing. I wish I could zoom in. I don't think I can zoom in on here. But if you're going to do line items, again, CLC University, I have all my line items. I have my example photos of all the different line items and stuff like that I have, and all my color coordination, or all my color code coordination with the line items and stuff. I have all that in here. But the photos that you use for your line items, they need to look really good. If you're going to offer a 60-inch wreath, don't just picture the wreath. Put the picture up of, use the photo of the wreath actually installed on the house so your clients can envision how it will look on their property. Takedown. Why do we do takedown? It was a mistake I made year 1 and nobody really cares. And so that just helps me kind of budget. And then I can schedule the line item of takedown in Jobber. I can create multiple visits for a job. And on that visit for January, what I can do is I can say only the line item for takedown is for that visit. And then that gives me a little bit of budget in January. And since I'm paying my installers based upon percentage, if my install visit has my install line items and then my takedown visit has my takedown line items, it helps me pay my people accurately. Okay. So that's just why I do it. Part of it's the software. Part of it is I put it up there year 1 and nobody said anything. The reason why I have that up there is that I can always say, if they ask for hey, can I get 20% off or something like that? No, I can't give you 20% off, but I can do takedown for free, which is $75, which is only about 15% or something like that, right? 12%. Okay. So anybody have any questions with that line item right there? I know that was a little quick, but I'm trying to be respectful of everybody's time. If you got any questions on that that was my last quote that we got approved for temporary. It's a very simple one, $600 or $700, whatever that was. Okay. And the client paid a 50% deposit in order to approve it. And then I used the CRM Jobber to do all that. So if you guys got any questions, put them in the comment section and I will get to them. So we have Jobber as well. What do you say to your past clients when sending over the contract or quote? Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to them with an email, then a text message, and then a phone call. And we're going to say, hey, you ready to finalize your design this year? All right. How do you want to pay the deposit? When would you like it scheduled? Everybody who commits in January can pick their exact install date. All right. And all my existing clients know, hey, we book up fast. If you want an exact install date, you need to prove your quote early. It will get to a point that there's just a percentage of people that come the end of November, we just haven't heard from. Those people, it's going to call duplicate a quote. I'm going to duplicate their quote from last year. I'm going to adjust the pricing if I need to, and I'm just going to send it over to the client, and I'm going to give them a week or 2 weeks to do that, because you'd be surprised. The very last thing that we do is that we just send them the quote from last year unsolicited. We haven't been able to get in touch with them, whatever. Hey, here's your quote. And you'd be surprised how many people just click approve and pay the deposit with never even talking to us, and they just get the same design every year. They don't change anything. They don't want to talk to us or anything like that. But I reserve that line item for literally like sometime in October. The other thing that I do is come November or come whenever my schedule starts getting booked up, I archive all of my past quotes, and then my pricing goes up. So if you don't approve by the time that our schedule kind of fills up, I'm going to archive all those quotes, and you're going to pay higher rate to have your job installed. That's about 80 feet. Yeah, probably pretty close to 50 to 80 feet. Okay, here we go, guys. How do you pre-bulb without tangling the lights? Okay, the biggest pain in the butt is when you go and you pull lights out of a bin or you reinstall or anything like that, and they're a big, jumbled, tangled mess. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you guys how often that has happened to other people. It's never happened to me. Hint, hint, hint. So here's what I do. Let's say this is my trash can, all right? Now I'm sitting here on the couch, right? I'm just sitting here on the couch, and here's my trash can. So I'm going to have my spool right here. It's called a spool caddy or something like that. And so it's basically a pole that goes through the middle, and it allows me to pull the socket wire that's on the spool. It allows me to pull it, and it rotates, okay? And then I have a bin in front of me that is bulbs and another bin that is clips. And so I take these lights, and I take a clip and a bulb, and I hold it in one hand. I take my socket wire in the other. I screw it in, and I do 1, 2, 3 of those, and then I directly feed it into my trash can. Okay, so as I'm sitting here, I'm just going grabbing the spool, bulbing it, directly go in. What I'm not doing is creating a big pile right here and then picking them all up and then transfer them. If they go in one at a time, then they will come out one at a time. You don't need to do like a perfect circle. You just feeding them into the bin, and the key is to feed them into that bin one at a time. If you're bulbing them and you just feed them directly into that bin, you do a couple of bulbs, goes into the bin. Couple of bulbs, goes into the bin. Couple of bulbs, goes into the bin. Do it while you're watching me yip yak on a Facebook Live or watching on Netflix, or get your kids out there to do it, something like that. Okay, and that's what you guys just do in the evening. Now, I personally I pay stay-at-home moms to do it, right? So I have them come out to my shop. I have them, the ones that do quite a bit of it, they can take some materials with them. They go home, or I might drop off a couple thousand feet, and I pay them per 1,000 feet, all right? And they just bulb it all. They have the trash cans. And so I'll give them a spool, a 1,000-foot spool. I'll give them 800 bulbs and 800 clips and 2 trash cans. And they go and they do all that, and then I'll pay them $50 once they're done. All right? And so they can get all that done, and get it all done in a night, or it might take them all weekend, or it might take them a week. I don't care, right? But that puts me at 5 cents a foot, man, for having all that stuff pre-bulbed. And if they do it properly, it doesn't tangle in everything else, okay? So that's how I pre-bulb, and I never have tangle. Now, when you go to pull them out of the bin, you want to grab the end of the line, and if it does tangle, jiggle it. Just jiggle that line until the other lights fall back down into the bin, and keep pulling them out. And I've never had a tangle. Yep, so about 50 feet, about 60 feet. There you go. Best way to track inventory. In the notes section on all my jobs, we have estimated number of feet. And we do starter packages. So if you guys go to Christmas Light Contractors, the website is lightsforsale.com, and you buy a starter package, you buy a 1,000-foot starter package once you sell about 1,000 feet of lights, just buy another starter package. That's the best way to track inventory. Keep it simple, guys. You don't need to have some fancy metric system with QR code, RF tags, and blah, blah. Like I've seen some real crazy stuff out there, guys. And then, once you do that, then you just need to track your new installs. What about those who you already serviced? So Edwin, I'm sorry, I don't recall the context of this right here. So Edwin, give me leave another comment and tell me what this applies to, and just say, what about those clients you already serviced in regards to installing lights or already have signed up, or I don't know, something like that. Great reminder to take personal notes regarding each client in our CRM. Yeah, absolutely. And, I think the difference is like clients know when you care, and they know when like they're just a number, right? They know when they're one of 100, or they know if they're one of one, right? And so, making people feel special and spending time with them and remembering details and stuff like that. Like I got a permanent light job approved today for a client that I remembered going out there years and years and years ago. My guys installed the lights the last few years. And then last year they didn't have us do it because of budget reasons, but then they paid for us to do permanent lights. But when I pulled up, I said, hey, I remember this house. Let me open the CRM. Yeah, I remember this. I remember the detail about them. And when I got out of my truck, I started talking to them like I picked up right where we left off. There's no replacement for that right there. I mean, no other company can duplicate that result right there. And look, they paid way more than what they paid for temporary, but it's like they remembered me, we connected, they trust me, and they developed that, and then they want to give me business, and then they know that in the long run, the permanent lights are going to save them money. So it was like a win-win-win all the way around. Edwin from Virginia. Oh, excuse me, guys. I apologize. Okay, are you using Jolly app to help your bids? No, I personally do not. All my mock-ups look like this. We may use ChatGPT, or honestly, Copilot. I believe Google has the best right now current AI in regards to photos. So that is the best one. I do not, I don't do mock-ups. I do some with commercial work, and I'll do some with permanent lighting when trying to sell like higher end tickets over the phone if I don't have time to go out there. But it just takes a little bit more time. There's also Strander. There's Holiday Home Concepts. There's a lot of them out there. But here pretty soon, it'll just be you type in an address and it spit you out 3 options. I think that we're a couple of years away from that. Jolly Lights is kind of like the original one. Holiday Home Concepts is probably the best one out there, and probably the cheapest one, and that is gaining the most traction is Strander, and it's only like $20-$30 a month. Brooke, hi from Wisconsin. I don't think that I've ever been to Wisconsin, Brooke, but hi, it's very nice. Thank you for joining the live. How much do you pay your main guy? First year, just going to be me and a helper, and he's going to be doing most of the hard climbing. Carrie, well, pay him enough that he wants to come back. For me, it's easy to pay my guys a little bit hourly because they work for me year round. Subcontractors, I pay them 40-50% of the job. A technician working on commission for me is going to be, this is like a little bright spot right there. My light just highlights my face, like right there. So I look like I have like no tan, and in real life, my neck is about as red as my shirt because I'm burnt right now. But my crews, like a W-2 crew, is going to earn somewhere between 20% of the job for installing, maintaining it, and about 5% for takedown. So I keep the entire labor for the entire job around 25%, and that will be split between the crew leader and Oh, am I back? There we go. So sorry about that. Lost connection real quick. But so again, about 20% goes for install, 25% job total gets paid out in labor. If I have multiple crews that help on that job, it's split between all of them. My crews install anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 a day worth of lights. So they can, 20% of that is good money to be split between them. All right. What percentage of pay to the crew? Hourly, a good way to start? Yes, hourly is a good way to start. So how I actually do it is kind of a draw against that commission. So I will pay them weekly, hourly. So if they're installing quite a bit, I will keep increasing their hourly rate. So they might start at $20 an hour, and the next week they go up to 25, then they go up to 30, then they go up to 35. And they'll be getting paid hourly based upon their performance. And then right before Christmas, what I do is I figure out how much they've earned based upon the percentage versus what's been paid out in weekly hourly pay, and I pay them that difference right before Christmas time frame. That's just because it's very tough to tally all of that up. It's very nice. It's hard to tally all of that up every single week when we're so busy. How would you go about to try to get in contact with a city? My small local cities need to catch up on proper lighting. So sometimes it's a city manager, sometimes it's public works, sometimes it's who knows. But just go in there and let them know. Walk into the office and just be like, hey, I'm a local installer. Do you guys put up holiday lights anywhere around the city? I'd love to put in a bid, right? Who do I need to talk to? Do I need to talk to Public Works or the city manager? Like who do I need to talk to that does that? I'd love to be able to put in a bid. The wreath alone is $400. You're absolutely right. I think we only charge them $300. I don't know why. But yeah. See, Corey Walters, I do listen. I don't know what's going on there, but something. I just said something. And Corey, it sounds like Brooke is the missus. Happy wife, happy life. Okay, that's all I got to say to this comment right there. Love the takedown, just throwing it. So talking about Matt's talking about the line item. I'm just throwing it in now. So I include that in every one of my quotes. Also, here's another thing. This right here is a Halloween job, right? I know it looks kind of pink, but that's orange, purple, and green. And so we say, hey, pick two of the colors. This client just happened to, like in that tower there, we had some floodlights that they already had installed. So they did each one because they had 3 sections on their tower. So they just did 2 bulbs, 2 bulbs, and 2 bulbs. But on every single one of my quotes, I am offering them, permanent lighting. The other thing that you can do is if you guys, I offer them Halloween lighting. So that's a bulb change out. Or if you do permanent lighting, you can include that on every single quote as well. Check the kitchen. I don't know what that means, man. Do I have my installers wear regular colorful shirts or costumes? So I do like for everybody to look the same. My shirts, like the Christmas Light Contractor shirt, is actually based off of my install company shirt. So it just says, it's like my logo right here. It just says MC Christmas Lights, and on the back it says like design, install, maintain, and storage or something, and then our phone number. So all my guys wear these. And when it gets really cold, we have some hoodies. And then I try, I'll make sure that they have like rain gear and jackets and stuff. So that way it's all the same color and they do look good. You could do an elf costume or something like that. Hey, I'll probably get a bunch of tips if I showed up wearing some green tights. Maybe that's something to look into this year. When you make the transition from permanent to focus on temporary, I'm going to start getting cold here, and that will be brutal to do permanent. There you go. Look, I installed Minlian permanent lighting. Minlian lights have a temporary clip, and they also have a C9 bulb that you can install with temporary, right? And so they have the same functionality as permanent lights. And so when we get busy, right, it's a matter of, can we get it installed? And then the sales pitch turns into, look, I can guarantee you guys lights by Christmas time frame. And I just go out there and I put the temporary lights up, and then I keep booking out from, the 20th of January. I book out January and February and March and April. Instead of taking down the lights, we do all of our temporary light takedowns, and then we get out there and we just switch them from the temporary install over to the permanent install, doing those 1 or 2 a day. So I never stop. I just don't install the permanent. And that's a unique feature that Minlian permanent lighting has. So you guys can go on to minlianpermanentlighting.com, and you can also learn more about it. Here you go. CLC University right here. There's like 25 videos on the free course that you guys can learn about Minlian permanent lighting. Did you guys not have training in North Carolina this year? Yes, we did. And then we will also have one-day trainings, Edwin. I know, you guys, you've hung out with us for a while, right? So I will have one-day trainings where we do all the business stuff on Zoom one day, and then we'll just show up and we'll do like, hey, come on and install. And it's like an intense hands-on day. We'll be doing quite a few of those this year in North Carolina. How many years do you use lights? 2 to 3. I've always installed Minlean lighting. So even my temporary, I use Minlean. I use Minlean bulbs, Minlean socket wire, Minlean clips, and those things last a really long time. I have lights that I've still from year one, 2018. So that's like going on what, 6-7 years now that I still use those lights. I've switched from like year one, I had 12-inch, and then year two, I did 15. And then I've used warm white and some warm white. And I bought a few companies and some of their inventory's gotten mixed in. So this year I'm going like for all my warm white lights and stuff is all going to be brand new. This is the first time I'm saying like, hey, all of it's getting like, recycled. It's all still good. It's all still working though, but we're starting to have like one bulb every 2 or 3 houses that'll burn out. So it's creating some touch-ups. And so that's anywhere from like I've added inventory every single year. So that's what you got going on with me. But yeah, I use Minlean. Minlean's been around for 20 years because they have the highest quality stuff. They have the best bulb out there, and they absolutely have the best, strongest socket wire on the market. If you pay for an expensive bulb, a premium bulb, not some cheap thing that you get from the store, whatever, a professional grade bulb, I guess is the best way to say it. But you use cheap socket wire, that's going to corrode your bulb, and the fins on the socket wire aren't going to make really good contact. And the more that they don't make good contact, it kind of creates a little spark right there, and it shortens the life of everything. So if you're going to do a professional grade bulb, use professional grade socket wire. The best socket wire on the market is Minlean socket wire. So if you do that, your bulbs are going to last a really, really long time. Yeah, Brooke, I'm sure that he knows that you are the gal when it comes to getting those measurements perfect. But hey, it sounds like the Walters have a team going on here. Maybe she's in the office or helping out in the office a little bit. He's out in the field. That's me and my wife. And so one thing in the first couple of years, here's a little tip for you. You can, once you install them, count the number of bulbs you have. And so if you're like, oh, I got 80 bulbs and the office quoted 100 feet, boom, you're perfect. You're perfectly quoted that job because 80 bulbs at 18 inches is 100 linear feet of lights. Okay. So your first installs, go and make sure you take notes. Count how many mini lights you're using, count how many feet of C9 that you put up. And that gives your feedback to whoever's in the office on how accurate they quoted that job without having to go out there. Any virtual trainings coming up? Yes. So you can check out, here you go, CLC University. Like literally A to Z, everything you need. We do lives all the time in there. Literally $99. You can go on there. There's 100 videos or whatever. Just binge watch all those videos and cancel it if you'd like right after that. And you literally A to Z, everything you need to grow your business to multiple 6 figures is right there in CLC University. All right. If clients want to change their light patterns the following year, do you charge them extra for changing them to a different color or no? Edwin, great question. Amazing question. The answer is no, I do not. That is one thing that I actually talk to them about, the value of paying for my service versus buying the lights, right? Like doing the lease model over the purchase model. When you pay for my service, you can change up your design next year. You can change up the colors. You can add more lights or do less lights or anything like that. And I'm not going to force you to buy new materials. So you're allowed to do that in between before we install. Now, if I put the lights up and they're like, oh, I saw another house that was, red and white, I'd really like that. If they're a nice client, I probably wouldn't charge them. I'd just go and swap out the bulbs. But I don't allow them to do that once once the lights have been installed, but in between before they install, yes, absolutely. And all I do is I just take those lights that were on their house and I recycle them and I put them up on a different job, and then they just get new lights, right? So don't unscrew and change out the bulbs. Because again, once you screw it in, those tabs inside the socket wire, they get depressed. And if you unscrew them and rescrew them in a lot, it's going to make it so that you're going to go out there and one of the bulbs is going to be a little loose. That's my tip for if you're using standard socket wire. With Minlean, they hold that bulb really, really, really snug. So I have not had that problem with Minlean, but I got Minlean mixed in with all my other stuff. And so that's why this year I'm just literally switching it all over to Minlean, because I just don't have any problems with Minlean socket wire and Minlean bulbs. But if you use cheap, in the past I've used standard or Minlean's run out or something like that, and I just had to use standard wire. Every time that I swap out the bulbs is, I've had bulbs that get loose, and then I got to go out there and tighten up a bulb because there's like one on the house that looks like it's burnt out, but it's not burnt out. It's just loose. Dude, Jeremy, you're crushing it, man. We did 8,400 Halloween job this past Friday and then signed the neighbor for Halloween and Christmas. Going to be a great year. Awesome, man. Jeremy, how long have you been installing lights, man? I don't remember, but I know you've been at it for a few years. But dude, I remember my first year, I became a believer when I sold a $5,000 job. I made a post on Facebook in a local community page, and then somebody at 10 o'clock at night approved a $5,000 job. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. Like I could actually make money. The temporary clips are sold out. Yeah, for the Pebbles they are, but Corey, there's C9 bulbs now. There's Minlean permanent lighting with the C9 bulb. It's C9 that's the same style, and you just use like the flex clip. You just use the tough clip, and you just clip the lights onto the gutter and the shingle and stuff like that. And then that's what I'm using. That's what I'm talking about. Edwin, what do you say when your sales pitch? Do you have clients sign up for both Halloween and Christmas lights? Honestly, we don't push it a whole lot. We get 2 dozen jobs. I just use that to train my installers. So the dude we need to talk to is my man who closed a $8,000 Halloween job, right? I've never done that. I've always just charged $300 or $500. Literally, that's my pricing. Either $300 for a small house or $500 for a big house. And that's just so that my guys can start installing lights in September and they can get trained. And we're installing them, throughout October, and we can get them trained. We only do a couple of dozen of those jobs. I've never really pushed it like Jeremy does. But yeah, we need to get Jeremy on here to figure out how he does that. But so yeah, sorry, I don't have a really good sales pitch for this. What is a healthy margin with having one employee? So if you're on the truck and you have a helper, bro, you should be killing it. I mean, absolutely killing it. So let's say you buy a starter package for $1,500, and let's say you're installing the lights at, let's make it easy, $6. Your material cost is 25%. And if you can get 1,000 feet up in a day, I mean, what do you got to really pay a helper? $300, $400 for the day to sit in the truck with you? You know what I mean? So you're at like a 25% margin. Call it 5% for that helper. You have 30% on job cost. So whatever your advertising cost is, let's say it's 10, 20% year one. So you're up to maybe 40 to 50%. You have your insurance and stuff like that. Let's call that another 10% and vehicle expenses, whatever. But I mean, if you only got one employee, I mean, you should be crushing it at $6 a foot. You should be making like a 50% margin before taxes. You should be absolutely crushing it. Free of charge, or what's the cost? So he's talking about the come and hang out with me for a day and learn. If you're part of Vibrant Nights or if you're part of CLC University, it'll probably be free. You can just come and hang out, and I'll probably do like 3 or 4 businesses that day, and I'm going to work y'all like a rented mule. Like we're going to go out to a job, and we're just going to learn. You know what I mean? So there's going to be no business. It'll be like an hour of the basics for anybody who's like brand new. And then we're going to be out there installing jobs. And we're like, my goal is to you guys be so pumped up and motivated that you're going to go out there and crush it in your own business, or I want you to quit and never install another light again. So he's talking about my hands-on day in North Carolina, just coming and working for me. My goal, man, is for y'all to see everything on that one day, because you probably got to fly in or drive in. Maybe you're going to get a hotel, maybe you're not, but it's going to cost you some money to get there, regardless if I charge you or not. Now, if you're brand new and you've never bought anything from me, and the thing is that some people have paid to come to trainings before, right? So if you've paid to come to one of my trainings, I probably won't charge you. But if you haven't, it's unfair to just do it all for free. If somebody else has kind of paid the price to be there. So I don't know exactly what I would charge. It's probably going to be pretty close to free, if anything. That's the way I'm looking at it. That's what we use. Sorry. Do you store them per client? So I will tell you this. In all my previous years, when I do takedown, I put the client's lights in their own bin and I label it and everything else. This past year, because I knew I was going to be putting up all brand new lights, we just took them all down. And I got all my jobs down by the 14th of October, even my commercial jobs and everything. We're talking like hundreds and hundreds of jobs. We got them all down by the 14th of October. And I was like, holy cow, there is something to this. And so then we can move on to like installing our permanent lights and everything else. So I think that we are probably going to start taking down almost all the jobs, unless it's like a big commercial project or something like that. And we're probably just going to, especially all of our warm white jobs, we're probably just going to take all those down and just put them in a big bin and just reinstall fresh every year. I think we're going to try that out, but I don't know. I'm going to time it this year and see if my install production rates are any better or worse than they were in previous years. My prediction is that it's going to cost us about 30 minutes to 1 hour per job. So over the entire season, over all my crews, maybe I might have 200 to 300 more workmen, more man hours for installing them all brand new. And if that's the case, then that's a non-factor, spread out between all my crews. But I think I'm estimating, maybe I'm way off, but I think per home, I'm only going to have about one additional man hour for doing it new versus like a reinstall. So if that's the case, I mean, I've saved way more than that on takedown, because it used to take us all the way to the end of the month and we'd be almost going into February. So that alone, my cost for doing that and everything else, it's like, that's a no-brainer. Excuse me, guys. I'm getting over a cold. I just got some stuff left in my lungs, so I apologize. I know that's kind of nasty to have to hear that on the live, so I apologize. Job measurements were all right. So what are you doing the following year is a job measurement. We're off, keeping prices the same, adding a little, charging correct measurement. So look, I'm probably could do a better job about adjusting the pricing from year to year. I'll adjust the pricing to my current market rates when we add them or sell them new stuff. But if you signed up with me, like these folks right here, and you've been with me like for 7 years, I'm just going to keep your pricing the same. I don't care that I might be losing money or could get more money because I used to charge $6 a foot. Now I'm charging $10 a foot. For me, if you hire me every single year, I'm going to keep your pricing the same for those line items. Now, if you want new line items, I'm going to charge you market rate for those new line items. But for me, that's just how I run my business, and all my clients seem to appreciate that. Now, if you don't sign up with me 1 year and you go with somebody else and they suck and then you come back to me, I'm going to rebid your job. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. 4th season. There you go. So $8,400 job for Halloween on his 4th season. Can I learn from your wife? Yes, Brooke. You can hop on and chit chat with my wife at any point in time. She is pretty busy. She does have 4 kids. She is the definition of superwoman. She is training 2 new gals in the office right now. But if you reach out to her, then I'm not going to say her name on here, but you can message me and I'll get you her contact information. You can reach out to her, and she loves helping a lot of ladies in the industry. There's a lot of ladies that she's helped. And you can absolutely reach out to her. And I've even suggested doing like a ladies leadership. I thought that'd be really cool. The ladies in the Christmas light industry, y'all are powerful. I mean, I would be nowhere near as successful and without my wife. I feel like my wife is the #1 key to my success. So some of you guys who fail, it's because your wife sucks. No, I apologize. That's not the case. It's just I firmly believe that the reason why I succeed is because my wife and I are both 100% dedicated to this working, both of our businesses. And the day, and I say 100%, not 50-50, right? Because from a team, what happens when I'm sick, right? Or I'm just not feeling it, or I'm worn out, or I just had a bad day, or, something in my home life, or, something happened, right? And I'm only bringing 30% that day, right? Like I need my partner to make up the difference, right? And if that partner is only willing to go 50%, and that means that they always have to be at 50% and I always have to be at 50%. Or another way of looking at that is they always have to be at the top of their game and I always have to be at my top of my game, because we're not willing to do anymore. But when you're 100%, now you got synergy, you got some compounded effort. And I firmly believe that for my wife. But yeah, you can reach out to me. I'll get you her contact information, and she can send you a bunch of videos and examples and stuff like that. When do you plan on doing the training, bro? Whenever I have time. If you guys want to do permanent lighting, we got some jobs this week, right? I'm going to be in Greensboro Wednesday, the 24th. Yeah, so I'll be in Greensboro Wednesday. If anybody wants to come along Wednesday, we're going to do a job for charity. This guy's he's going through some stuff, so I'm training my Greensboro guys out there. My Greensboro partner is going to be out there. If anybody wants to tag along to that, maybe a couple of businesses can tag along on that over in Greensboro. Just reach out to me. I'll get you those details. It'll just be a hands-on day. No business, nothing of that, but you can learn some of the hands-on. If you want to learn permanent lighting, pretty much every day we're doing a permanent light job. So if it's not raining or something like that, you guys come out in North Carolina. We got a pretty good job Wednesday. We got a really great job Friday. This week, matter of fact, I could use all the help. Anybody wants to come out and learn Minden permanent lighting this Friday, I would love the additional help. So I don't know that we have any other dedicated permanent light training scheduled this year. The one out in Indiana is almost booked up. You could pay to go out there, or if you just want to learn hands-on, you can come out to Raleigh, North Carolina this Friday and do it there. And we got all next week is booked out as well. So we'll probably be having a job going every single day for permanent lighting. You guys can just come and tag along to that as well. So pretty much if you're available and you want to come to North Carolina and learn, we'll have jobs everywhere from Charlotte to Greensboro to Raleigh, and we'll put you to work, man. But don't show up if you're effing lazy, okay? Because I'll just send you home. You'll wasted a trip out there, right? Homie, don't play around. No cussing, no smoking on the job site, no flirting with any, clients or anything like that. Don't be looking in the windows. If I see it, like, you know what I mean? Like, these are my real jobs. My reputation's on the line. It's my job reputation. I take it very seriously. But if you guys want to learn, then we will, absolutely, you're welcome to come out and learn. Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, look, if you're buying from me, I want you to grow your business. I want you to learn. And so the better you guys do, the more you need to buy. I hope I can earn your business. You don't have to buy materials from me to come out and learn. I'm not going to require that. But, if you do, I'll definitely go out of my way to help you guys. Anything that I can do, I'm willing to do, guys. You can call me up. I'm driving all the time. I'm probably talking to 20, 30, 40, 50 people a day. I'm always on the phone. You can call me at any point in time. Like, I will do everything in my power to help you guys grow and stuff like that. And then again, when you need some materials or anything like that, please give us a chance to earn your business, right? So you can go to Lights for Sale right there. Okay. And give us a chance to earn your business. If you've never bought anything before, I encourage you to check out the 1,000-foot, 15-inch spacing, warm white starter package. A step above that is go with the Minlian, right? They're the best of the best. Those lights will last you a really long time. So ladies leadership is perfect. This is definitely not my thing. I'm in college. Oh, wow. Okay. For dental, but husband loves it, supporting his dream. And that's what makes me happy. Right. So I just think it'd be really cool because y'all, I feel like some of the challenges guys have, I'm not being sexist. I'm not saying like this is a man's role, this is a woman's role, but I do believe in roles. Like somebody needs to say, I'm going to take full responsibility for this portion or that portion. It doesn't have to be a man or a woman, but when y'all are doing it as a team, sometimes it falls to, okay, like he's going to be out in the field and she's going to be in the office, and it's a different set of challenges. Or you're still in school, and how do you support a husband that's, has his own business? Like, you guys just have different things. There's a different dynamic for couples, or even different things that women are dealing with these days that men are not. And I just think it would be awesome to kind of do a ladies leadership. That's something I would absolutely love to organize this upcoming year. I don't think it's going to happen this season, but going into next year, it's something I would love to help organize. We just need a few people stepping up, because how would it look if I'm the MC, like some dude, at a ladies leadership? Y'all, I don't want to be outvoted. I don't want to be outnumbered. So I volunteer not to be there, but Caitlin can be there and maybe run that. She runs our distribution company, Christmas Light Contractors anyway, so she'd be a great person to learn from. Jack, I have trouble getting work during the winter in Ottawa, Canada. Do you think permanent lighting is a good idea for January, March in the cold? I mean, sure, man. I mean, go for it, dude. Like, you can at least sell the jobs, collect a deposit, and if the weather isn't permitting, you know what I mean? Like book it, like come, like as soon as it thaws, we're going to get these lights up for you. But the nice thing is about permanent lighting is that we're not really attaching to the roof. A lot of times we're on the soffit. So even though it's cold, you can attach it underneath the gutter on the soffit, behind the fascia, some stuff like that. So if you have if you have a bunch of those installs going on, you could probably get a lift or safely put the ladder, whatever. You guys could probably keep working. So I think it's a great option for working in the cold months. Who's more responsive, you or Tyler? Nobody outworks Tyler. Okay, I'm going on the record right now. Nobody outworks Tyler. He has a family, he has kids, he has everything that I have, but he still somehow gets so much more done than I ever can. He's also focused, right? Tyler has the ability to focus on what's the most important and say no to everything else. And I mean, he wants to win. He wants to be number one. I've never met anybody like Tyler Zimmerman in my life. It's such a blessing to have him and part of the Christmas Light Contractor team. So who's more responsive, me or Tyler? The answer is hands down Tyler. Good. Help organize. We'd love to have you there. Any help on structuring meta ads, target audience, budget daily, spend multiple ads at once, or pump it up with more money back in Excel? All right. Right here. I hire One Love Social to do all of my advertising, okay? So they're my advertising company. If I'm going to do Facebook ads or something like that, they're going to do it. I will tell you, I have them doing permanent light ads. I do not have them doing temporary light ads. I don't think it's worth the return for the temporary light ads, for me paying for the service and everything else on top of it. There's so many tire kickers. I don't know that it's worth it, okay? There's so many people doing it in my area. For permanent, we're getting a huge return. Now, if you want to do it yourself, the guy to check out is Steve Hunsaker, Home Service Accelerator, right? Step by step by step. He is the man that will teach you, or Spencer Clays, right? How to run and do all your own ads. He has scripts. He tells you what to do, when to film it. I mean, literally, he has you just film a couple of things and plug it into pre-made videos and stuff. He has all of that for you, and he will hold you accountable, make sure you actually do it. But in a nutshell, target, here's a couple of things. Make five ads and put $5 a day to them. Target the highest earning zip codes in your service area. So pick the top 5 or the top 10 zip codes that have the highest revenue, and that's your target zip code. Okay, you run the $5 a day for 5 days. After that 5-day period, you pick your best performing ad. And so let's say you have a video ad, a text ad, a before and after ad, another video ad, and another client testimonial ad. Whichever one's the highest performing, you can then go and you say, all right, that's a video ad. I'm going to make 4 more videos. And guess what? You run it again for 5 days for $5 a day. Now you've done A/B testing. You've done 2 rounds of A/B testing. You can do 3 rounds. You can do 4 rounds, whatever you want to do, and keep getting the better ads. But the more you do that, do at least 2 rounds of A/B testing. And then after that, you're going to have a good performing ad, and you can start running 10, 20, 30. Keep dumping money into the ad that's working until your ROAS is diminished returns. Keep doing it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel or anything else. Keep doing what's working, okay? So it's all about A/B testing and tracking your returns, and just keep dumping money into what's working until it stops working. Then go back to your second best performing ad and switch it. So every couple of months or every couple of weeks, you'll switch up your ad set and see what's working. All right, so Don Questenberry, fabulous as always. Thank you for investing in us and making such a great quality products available. You are very welcome. I remember meeting you and your husband, had just such a great connection talking about homeschooling. And we talked about a lot the very first time we met. It was at a huge convention. We talked about a lot, but I remember you guys well. I respect you guys so much. It's awesome seeing you guys' business and everything that you guys do for everybody around you and your convictions that you guys have. It's been a pleasure getting to know you guys over the last year, 2 years, maybe year or 2 years, last little bit. And guys, I talk to tens of thousands of people. I remember Diane. I invest in them. Do the same thing with your clients. Connect with them, right? Remember the details about them and stuff like that. You do that with your clients, and you will build an absolute rock solid business. We are over on time, but I want to spend a few minutes going over this right here, which are my actual numbers. Sorry it's been so late. But I'm going to take a few minutes going over that. I've gotten caught up on all the comments, and then I'm going to log out. So right here. I wonder if you guys can see my cursor when I'm doing the screen share. I know I can't see the chat right now, but let me open up real quick and see if you guys can see my cursor. Because if not, all right. So a little bit delayed. Let me click on it. All right, give me a few minutes. So what I'm doing here, sorry, there's a little bit of a delay, like a 10-second delay or something like that between when I'm recording it and when it's popping up. I need to see if we can see my cursor. Come on, pop up. Can you see my cursor? No, I don't see it on here. Oh, well, you can see it? Yes, yes. Okay, so you can see the cursor? You can see it moving around? Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, cool. All right, so what we have right here is the last 30 days of my business. This is the Raleigh area. I have, a franchise feature right there where I have different accounts linked. And so from August 22nd or whatever until now, we've sent out about, there we go. I can just highlight. So that'll help everybody see it as well. So we sent out about 400 grand. We've got about 50% in revenue approved. The actual conversion rate is 62. What that is telling me is that only 50% of quoted is getting the revenue or the money is getting approved, but 60% of quotes. So the high end quotes are not converting as well as the lower end quotes. An example of that would be like right here, right? Awaiting response. That's a $30,000 quote. That's a $10,000 quote. Some of those are still awaiting response. The other thing that's throwing that off is that we are quoting more permanent lighting right now, which is a higher ticket. And what I have noticed is if we scroll down here, so all of these are converted or awaiting response, even though it's showing all here and all of the statuses. So if we archive them, like that's somebody who said no to the quote. It says archive. But most of these are converted or still awaiting responses. Not very many of these are archived. And that's because we're pre-qualifying our customers, right? But even 4 out of 10 of these are getting archived. What this is telling me, I have this sorted by my quote number, okay? So all of our clients are getting more serious right now. And then if you look at this, more of them are converting the further back that I go. This is about a week back right here, right? So we're starting to go about a week back on these right here. On this category right here is when they were sent date. So more of them are getting converted the further back that I go. Now look at all these that are getting converted, right? All these right here from all these right here are saying in this category are saying converted. These are all Christmas lights. So I'm going to assume, because there's no lead source, right? This is lead source right here. It's not filled out. So I'm going to assume this lead source, all of these right here, was when we were doing a round, and they're all on that one date, right? So we did a round of renewals. It looks like probably on the 12th. We were doing a round of renewals, and those are repeat clients that are approving right there. Is there another page? Yeah. So let's go to page 2. Okay, yeah, 1 or 2 pages. And same situation right here, right? A lot of these are converted. And then as we go further back, we'll see some that are archived. Lead source. A lot of these are One Love Social, like all my permanent lighting. A lot of those are coming from One Love Social. I firmly expect, because we're getting a lot of these jobs approved right now, the only ads that I'm running are my Facebook ads. That's One Love Social. That's Ashley Bishley and One Love Social. The ones that are getting approved and my quotes are coming in from there. But now that I'm getting 10, 20, 30, I think we just passed 100. We might be at 125,000 because we sold about 25 grand this week. But at the end of last week, we passed $100,000 in sales for the year. But in the last 7 days, we've gotten like 25 grand approved. Okay. So as those people start seeing referrals, as those lights start turning on, I plan on a lot of my permanent light leads. I think more and more of them are going to turn from referrals from existing clients, right? Google, these are probably new leads. One Love Social, again, that's permanent. Google is Christmas lights. So a lot of them are from Google. Let's go back to this other page. Yep, Google, One Love, other, right? So all these blank ones I think are repeat jobs. So I'd like to count them up. I wonder if I can sort it by this. So that's 1 through, oh man, most of these are blank. So what, about 25? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So we've gotten in the last 30 days, a handful of new ones that are from right here. What this tells me is I need to have a talk with my team and make sure they're filling out this lead source, right? Because I need to see which ones are from Google, which ones are from website, which ones are from existing clients. But out of the 100 quotes that we've sent in this past 30 days, only, oh gosh, I don't want to count this, but I would say that's about half the first page, and there's 50 on this page. So only about 25% of them I know where the lead source is. So that right there, I need more information to actually be accurately sharing that with you guys. But yeah, guys, those are my numbers right here. This, 200 grand in the last 30 days is what we've gotten approved. And that's going to substantially increase in October. And holy cow, November is going to be like through the roof. My goal this year, what's my goal this year? Is 1.5 million in lights. Do I ever really share that number? No, not really, because that doesn't motivate a lot of people. I usually just tell people that we do $100,000 in lights, or excuse me, we do like half $500,000 in lights. Look, when I say that we do $500,000 in lights, you can see in the last 30 days, we've converted 200 grand, right? So you can just say, as we get closer, I mean, obviously it's going to be substantially more than that. You know what? I might actually be able to share. Let me give me 1 second, guys. Let me share. Let's see if I can share last year's numbers for the Raleigh area. Let me go back there and see quotes. Let's see if I can do custom range. You know, I'll do that. Oh, I'm not sharing the screen. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Alt tab. Go back here. Share this screen. Nope, not that. This right here. Okay. So let's go. Oh, what? No. Custom range right here. Let's go. 2024. 1/1/2024 to oh gosh, dear gosh, dang it. All right, custom range 1/1/2024 to 12/31/2024. Is that working? Oh no, I need to do visit report. All right, give me 1 second. Let's see. Visits. There we go. Visits right here. So this is the job. All right, total. There we go. Yep. So this will show it right here. All right. So let's go. Last 12 months. There's no last calendar year, is there? All right. Custom range. 1/1/2024 to 12/2024, 12/31, apply. 12/4/2025. Yeah, that's not right. One-off jobs, visit-based. Yeah, that's not right. I'll try to pull up those numbers. I'll try to find that report, but it should be right at $1 million, right over $1 million last year. I'll try to get that to you. You know what? I did bring it up on last week's live. I'll try to find which report that is. Maybe it's quotes or something like that. Yeah, guys, if you guys got any questions, anything like that, feel free to reach out. Happy to share my numbers with you, open the books and everything else. If you guys got any questions, reach out to me, and happy to answer it. So with that, talk